What if the great turning points of human history, the flashes of genius, the spiritual awakenings, the revolutions of thought, were not accidents? What if they were orchestrated, subtly guided by a silent fellowship that has operated from the shadows for millennia? This is not a story of clandestine meetings to plot world domination, but something far more profound. It is the story of the world's most secretive society, an order whose true name is unspoken, but whose purpose is singular: the preservation of the science of consciousness itself. They are the architects of the invisible. Throughout the ages, they have been the keepers of a sacred fire, a primordial wisdom that predates all modern religions and philosophies. While empires rose and fell, they passed their knowledge from one trusted mind to the next, not in books that could be burned or temples that could be destroyed, but through direct transmission, encoded in symbol, ritual, and the very fabric of reality. They are not interested in power over others, but in awakening the power within each individual. They believe humanity is living in a self-imposed exile from its true nature, and they hold the map for the journey home. In this exploration, we will venture beyond the veil of the mundane. We will trace the rumored origins of this silent order back to the dawn of civilization, examine the philosophical bedrock upon which their entire structure is built, and decode the powerful teachings they have guarded for so long. This is not merely a history lesson. This is an invitation to understand the hidden mechanics of reality and your place within it. The secrets they protect are not external to you. They are the very keys to unlocking the divinity sleeping within your own soul. Prepare to question what you know. The first seal is about to be broken. To trace the origins of this order is to chase a river back to a source hidden deep within the earth. Their own chronicles, which exist not on paper but in consciousness, speak of a genesis before the first empires. They point to pre-dynastic Egypt, to a brotherhood of priest scientists who studied the stars not merely as celestial bodies, but as a cosmic clockwork reflecting a divine intelligence. Their legendary founder is the figure known in Egypt as Thoth, and to the Greeks as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great messenger of the gods. It was Hermes who first articulated their foundational axiom, the Emerald Tablet's great secret: that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to perform the miracles of the one thing. This is their core philosophy. It is not a religion that demands worship, but a science that requires perception. The one thing is the universe itself, a single, living, conscious entity. All of creation, from the spiraling galaxy to the beating of your own heart, is a manifestation of this one consciousness. Their teachings assert that humanity has fallen, not into sin, but into amnesia. We have forgotten that we are not separate from this cosmic mind. We are localized expressions of it. This great forgetting is the root of all human suffering. You can see the fingerprints of this philosophy throughout history, like a watermark on the pages of time. It flowed into the mystery schools of ancient Greece, informing Pythagoras that number was the language of the universe, and Plato that our world is but a shadow of a perfect, ideal realm. It fueled the Gnostic quest for gnosis, direct, intuitive knowing, in defiance of dogmatic structures that sought to place a priest between a soul and the divine. While the Roman Empire crumbled and libraries burned, the custodians, as they are sometimes called, carried this flame of wisdom eastward, safeguarding it within the esoteric schools of Sufism and the intricate symbolism of the Kabbalah. Their return to a more prominent, albeit still hidden role during the Renaissance was no accident. They saw an opportunity in the renewed interest in classical wisdom and art. They didn't command Michelangelo or Da Vinci, but they cultivated the intellectual and spiritual climate where such genius could flourish. Genius that understood the divine proportions of the human body and the sacred geometry hidden in a flower's petals. Their secrecy, therefore, has never been about elitism. It is about protection. To reveal the science of reality to a consciousness that is unprepared would be like handing a child a lighted torch in a library of irreplaceable manuscripts. They wait patiently for humanity to mature, to heal the great schism between spirit and matter, and become ready to wield the fire of the gods responsibly. The core of this society's teaching revolves around understanding the nature of reality as fundamentally mental. Not mental in the psychological sense, but in the sense that consciousness is the primary substance from which all things are formed. Imagine the universe not as a collection of inert matter accidentally bumping into itself, but as a vast, living thought, an infinite mind expressing itself in countless forms. You, as an individual, are not a separate entity within this thought, but a focal point, a unique node of awareness within this universal consciousness. Their central tenet, echoing the Hermetic principle, is that mind is all. Everything you perceive, the solidity of the chair you sit on, the beauty of a flower, the vastness of the cosmos, exists first and foremost within this universal mind, and consequently within your own. Your physical senses act as filters, translating the vibrations of this mental universe into the sensory experience you understand. But these senses are limited, offering only a narrow band of the full spectrum of reality. Think of it like a radio. The air around you is filled with countless radio waves, each carrying a different signal. Your radio receiver, tuned to a specific frequency, can only perceive one station at a time. Similarly, your physical senses tune you into a specific frequency of reality, the one we commonly perceive as the material world. But just as other radio frequencies exist, so too do other dimensions of consciousness, other ways of experiencing the one thing. The practices and rituals of this hidden society are designed to help individuals expand their bandwidth of perception, to tune into these other frequencies. They understand that the limitations you perceive in the external world are often reflections of limitations within your own mind. Fear, doubt, and ingrained belief systems act as static, distorting the clarity of the universal signal. One of their fundamental teachings is the concept of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. The patterns you observe in the macrocosm, the cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, the interconnectedness of all things, are mirrored in the microcosm of your own being. By understanding the inner workings of your own consciousness, you gain insight into the workings of the universe itself. Similarly, by observing the patterns of the cosmos, you can gain a deeper understanding of your own inner landscape. This is why they have historically been associated with disciplines like astrology and alchemy, not as superstitious practices, but as symbolic languages that reveal these correspondences between the celestial and the terrestrial, the spiritual and the material. Alchemy, for instance, is not just about transmuting lead into gold. It is a metaphor for the inner transformation of the self, the turning of base consciousness into enlightened awareness. The philosopher's stone is not a physical object, but a state of being, a key to unlocking your own inherent potential.
If mind is the fabric of reality, then vibration is the needle that stitches it all together. The custodians teach that the entire spectrum of existence, from the densest matter to the most sublime spirit, is nothing but the one thing, vibrating at different rates. The perceived solidity of the world is an illusion, a slowed-down frequency that our physical senses can interpret. This is why their work is often called the Great Art, or Ars Magna. It is the art of consciously attuning one's own vibrational frequency to manifest a desired reality. To change your world, you must first change your vibration. This understanding unlocks a more nuanced principle: polarity. Every truth is but half a truth. Everything possesses two poles. Hot and cold are not separate phenomena, but different degrees of the same thing we call temperature. Likewise, love and hate, courage and fear, joy and sorrow are not cosmic enemies, but two ends of a single spectrum. The uninitiated person is tossed about by these poles, a victim of their emotional swings. The initiate, however, learns the art of mental transmutation. They do not try to eliminate fear, which is impossible. Instead, they learn to consciously raise their vibration along the pole from fear towards courage. This is not suppression. It is alchemy of the soul, transforming the base metal of a lower state into the gold of a higher one. Here we must confront the most challenging and guarded secret of all: the illusion of the personal self. The identity you cherish, the voice in your head you call me, is what the order refers to as the fabricated self, or the ego. It is a construct, a bundle of memories, beliefs, and conditioning, necessary for navigating the physical world, but it is not who you truly are. Their teachings state that the ultimate imprisonment is to fully identify with this mask. To believe you are the wave is to forget you are the ocean. The most sacred work of the custodians is to guide the initiate beyond the confines of the ego, to experience their true nature as the silent, all-perceiving awareness behind the mask, a direct and unfiltered connection to the universal mind. This reframes the law of cause and effect, or karma, from a moralistic system to a fundamental law of physics. It is not a cosmic judge doling out rewards and punishments. It is simply the law of correspondence in action. Every thought, emotion, and action is a cause, a specific vibration sent out into the mental universe. The universe, by its very nature, must reflect an effect that perfectly matches that vibration. Therefore, one does not perform acts of love to please a god, but because one understands that the vibration of love is the cause of which a loving reality is the effect. Finally, they teach the principle of gender, not biological sex, but the universal dance of the masculine and feminine energies, the projective, assertive principle, and the receptive, creative principle. All acts of creation, from composing a symphony to building an empire,
require the balanced union of these two forces within consciousness. To become a true creator, one must become whole, wedding the two within their own being. This ancient knowledge would be worthless if it remained a mere intellectual curiosity. Its true value lies in its application. It is a science, and your consciousness is the laboratory. Here are 4 foundational practices to begin transmuting this wisdom into lived experience. First, you must build the silent observatory. This is the cornerstone of all inner work. For 10 to 15 minutes each day, find a space of quietude. Sit, close your eyes, and turn your attention inward. Your only task is to watch the stream of your thoughts without judgment. Do not follow them. Do not fight them. Simply observe them as if they were clouds drifting across the vast sky of your awareness. The goal is profound: to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the silent, unmoving awareness that perceives the thoughts. The greatest challenge here is the mind's incessant chatter. Do not be discouraged. The act of returning your focus again and again to the role of the silent observer is the exercise itself. This practice creates the space necessary for true will to emerge. Second, practice the art of vibrational tuning. Your emotional state is a frequency you are constantly broadcasting to the universe. To change your reality, you must learn to consciously change your broadcast. Choose a state you wish to inhabit, for example, profound peace. Access a memory where you felt truly peaceful, or use the power of your imagination to construct such a feeling. Immerse yourself in it. Feel the texture of that peace in your body. Let it hum within your chest. Hold that feeling, that vibration, for as long as you can. This is not positive thinking. It is a tangible act of energetic generation. You are attuning your entire being to a new signal, and by the law of correspondence, reality must begin to reflect it back to you. Third, engage in mental polarization. When a negative state, like anger or fear, arises, do not suppress it. Suppression is resistance, and what you resist persists. Instead, apply the law of polarity. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. I recognize the presence of the energy of fear. Then consciously identify its opposite pole, courage or tranquility. Using your focused will, begin to climb the vibrational ladder towards that higher pole. You can use a focused statement of intent, such as, I am a sovereign being. I choose to transmute this energy, raising my vibration from fear to courage. You are not destroying the energy, you are transforming it, exercising your divine right as an alchemist of your own consciousness. Finally, start a journal of correspondences. Begin to document the synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences that appear in your life. Note recurring symbols in your dreams, repeating numbers you see, or how your inner state seems to be mirrored by the events of your day. This practice trains your intuition and helps you to see the invisible threads that connect your inner world to the outer. It is your personal, practical proof of as within, so without, turning a mystical axiom into a daily conversation with the universe. We have traveled a long road in this short time, from the whispered legends of a secret brotherhood to the very mechanics of consciousness. We have unveiled their foundational truth, that the cosmos is a living mind, that reality is a symphony of vibration, and that you hold within you the power to change your frequency and thus your world. We have passed on the practical keys of the Ars Magna, the inner alchemy of observation, tuning, and polarization. But now we arrive at the final revelation, the ultimate secret that this ancient order has so carefully guarded. The secret is not their existence. It is not their history or their rituals. The greatest secret, the one they have preserved for millennia, is you. You are the mystery. You are the sleeping God, the dormant power, the unawakened creator. Their entire purpose has not been to hoard power, but to act as custodians of a map, preserving it until you were ready to recognize it as the map of your own soul. The great work is not about joining a secret society. It is about realizing you are, and always have been, a sovereign creator. The choice to awaken is not in the hands of some distant master. It is yours, and it is available in this very moment. Do not accept these words as blind faith. The custodians would not want you to. They would want you to become a scientist of your own being. The laboratory is your life. The experiment is your consciousness. Prove it to yourself. Take just one of these techniques and apply it with unwavering diligence. Observe your thoughts, tune your vibration, and watch as the world within you begins to transform the world around you. The universe is not waiting for a grand event. It is waiting for you to remember who you are. If this knowledge resonates within your soul and you feel the call to continue this journey of discovery, subscribe to the Serpent's Scroll. Ring the bell of notification so you do not miss the next step on the path. The veil is thinning, and our work has only just begun.